The skincare industry has to reinvent itself every now and again, but it still can't change and pivot too drastically because old formulas tend to work and they work repeatedly and consistently. That being said, every year the skincare industry, skincare influencers and promoters, and other people involved with the skincare industry come up with trends that are basically new ways of repackaging the narrative of the skincare industry. Things that would sell to the consumer, that we're dealing with a cutting-edge technique or technology, something that could get them some improvement or make them feel good about themselves in some way, meaning the safety or the source of the ingredients, something that the company might be doing for other causes like the environment or social justice. So it was interesting to take a look at an article that was published recently in Rixon Cosmetics and take a look at those trends. Let's take a look at the trends that the authors pointed out. So top beauty trends from, not surprisingly, sustainability and biotechnology coming together. So let's read what they said here. So since sustainable materials started booming, cosmetic industry trends started leaning more towards sustainable ingredients and methods, right? And this usually came in the form of natural ingredients and renewable sources. So we did discuss this in previous videos. Those natural ingredients are usually heavily processed ingredients that can sometimes come from plant-based materials or other natural sources. And as far as the renewable sources, that's another way of saying that this has some sort of stamp from a government or non-government agency that certifies the source as something that is participating in the ESG economy. So these are usually not so much an indication to the quality of the ingredients, but really the certification of those ingredients is something that is now in fashion, now in vogue amongst government agencies, and the non-government agencies hand out those stamps for a fee. Specifically, though, they're really alluding to things that are grown rather than manufactured. That does not mean that they don't have to go through some distillation or some purification process that would definitely change the initial and natural properties of the compounds in question. Number 2, clean beauty, going all natural. So this is really another way of saying a lot of what was said in the first point. So we're talking about using ingredients that are, again, not so much manufactured through chemical synthesis, but really purified from natural sources. Again, consider this, the purification and distillation process of many of those natural ingredients actually takes quite a bit of chemical processing and other forms of energy-based processing. So this is not necessarily a win-win situation. Also, it doesn't really say anything or indicate anything as far as the safety or efficacy of those ingredients. The fact that something came from a so-called natural source doesn't make it the end-all be-all of quality skincare for you, doesn't mean that the ingredient is necessarily of any value to you. And while I get it that the processing and the source should matter to you in some ways, you still have to look at the efficacy of the specific ingredients and ask whether or not they are working for you or not. From PPE to PPC, protective personal care. So there's a little play on climate change and rising temperatures in the world and how people need to protect themselves. They are basically going to focus on means of protecting the skin from the harmful effects of too much sun exposure. That can be done by means of physical protection, actually getting in the shade or using some form of clothing that would protect the skin from sun exposure, and also sunscreen. Obviously, we talked about that. You need to be very moderate in your approach. You do need some sun exposure, and at the same time, you want to make sure that you don't get too much, you don't get sunburned, you don't get deeply tanned. Number 4, online selling on TikTok and Instagram, the new mainstream. So with advances in social media, we're getting more and more salesmanship, promotion, and advertising on Instagram and on TikTok. This is done by straight up advertising, and in many cases, as I've pointed out in many of my videos, it's done by influencers. So anytime you see one of those influencers online with no credentials that is basically telling you about their skincare routine, consider they're actually paid affiliates of skincare brands. They're making money by promoting those skincare products. I don't think there's anything wrong with promoting skincare products. Check whether or not those skincare products are right for you, whether or not you need them, whether or not they're a good fit for your skin type and your needs. and use your best judgment to do that. Number 5, men's beauty products, a rising demand. So this is something I've been talking about in previous videos. The men's skincare industry, or that aspect of the industry, is another way for the skincare industry to increase its market share, to expand into new areas that have been previously untouched. And that is because there's only so much money, there's only so many products that they can pump into the existing demographics that use skincare, which are largely women. So men's skincare has been exploding over the past few years. Many of the products, in fact, I would say the vast majority of products are actually worthless. They're actually harmful, for that matter, to the user, because if you don't need them, you're getting a net negative right up front by spending the money and the time buying the product and then using the product. So be very careful about those recommendations for skincare for men. Those are usually just repurposed products from women that have been rebranded male products, meaning they changed the label on the product, and that's pretty much it. So when you actually are approaching skincare, you need to go back to basics. Ask yourself, what's your skin type? What are your skin needs? Check out my book, 6 Skincare Made Simple, on Amazon.com to understand your skin better, understand the language of the skin, and how to answer the needs of the skin in the most cost-effective way possible. It is much simpler than you actually can imagine. And the majority of those skincare products, whether they're for women or for men, are usually worthless. They're usually not going to help you with taking care of your skin, so tread lightly. Number 6, inclusivity and diversity. And this is an ongoing trend that talks about skincare products that are right for certain skin types, regarding the ethnicity of the user. And some of this actually reflects on the owner of the brand that produces the product. I would say this: regardless of the color of your skin, regardless of your ethnic background, everyone's a little different. So you have to really take matters into your own hands. Understand the needs of your skin in the way anybody else would understand the needs of their skin, no matter what the color of their skin is, no matter what their ethnic background is. Everybody's, again, a little different. So you would care for your skin in a very specific and individually tailored way. And regarding the owners of the brand, I'd say if that's something that's important to you, that's fine. And you're welcome to purchase skincare products from a specific manufacturer because of your liking them for whatever reason. But pay close attention to the quality of the product and whether or not this is a good fit for you. The fact that a product was produced by a woman doesn't mean that this product is a good fit for all women. The fact that anything was produced by a man doesn't mean that it's a good fit for all men. You really have to be discerning. You have to use your judgment to individually determine whether that product or another is a good fit for you, and that should be your first and primary standard by which you actually decide whether this is a good product for you or not, whether you want to purchase it. So you really want to judge the product by its personal fit for you and your own needs. Number 7, anti-aging cosmetics. So I've talked about anti-aging in previous videos. Anti-aging is really a myth. There's no such thing as anti-aging. You don't de-age or unage or rejuvenate anything. What you can do using certain products, and these are farther and fewer apart, is you can restore or recreate some of the qualities that younger skin has, meaning achieve more laxity, achieve less wrinkling, achieve less spotting or blemishing of the skin, and other changes that are usually the result of sun exposure over the years that can induce those changes. So your first bet would be to actually avoid sun damage over a long period of time to prevent those changes from appearing in the first place. If they have appeared, you need to really address your changes and your concerns specifically to know that you are targeting those changes that are really truly bothersome to you. And that would entail a specific combination of products and practices, and sometimes even treatment at the office that would address your specific concerns. So I would say anti-aging as a trend or as a vogue is definitely understandable. Most people want to look younger in our day and age, and I get that completely. That being said, make sure that the anti-aging technology, product, or other things that you're using to induce the effect are actually designed to get you the results that you want. Don't just buy things wholesale based on the word of some online influencer, whether it's just somebody on TikTok or an actual dermatologist. It has to make sense for you and the problems that you're dealing with. So be sure that that's the case with you. Number 8, biohacking our skin. And that feeds into the same narrative of the anti-aging or decreasing the old appearance, sun-damaged appearance of the skin, and maybe other issues that plague a lot of people like dry skin or sensitive skin. And biohacking, in a nutshell, is still in its infancy. There are some things out there that pretend to reverse aging and maybe increase the viability or the laxity in other qualities of the skin that are making the skin look younger, plumper. I would use caution when using these products. We're still very much in the infancy of understanding skin biology. So I would again take care to, first of all, not buy expensive snake oil that would get you very little traction, very little results, potential side effects, and would cost you a lot of money up front without much to show for it on the back end. Number 9, emotional well-being is skincare. This is an unfalsifiable claim. Yes, emotional well-being is tied to other elements of health, but I would not say that emotional well-being is going to determine whether your skin looks great or not. It may distract you if you're upset, generally, if you're anxious, if you're depressed, if you're having other emotional problems. Yes, your skin might suffer because you may not be taken care of it as well. You may be applying too much skincare because of an obsession. These things can play into skincare and can definitely affect the appearance of the skin. But just being upset or anxious or not being able to relax generally is not something that I would consider something that would affect your skin or the quality of your skin. Again, you have to go back to basics when taking care of your skin. As I mentioned earlier, my book, Six Skin, Skincare Made Simple, which is now available on Amazon.com and now available in audio, would teach you how to understand the language of your skin, how to understand what it tells you, what it telegraphs to you, its specific needs, how to avoid anything crazy, doing any harm to the skin, and how to take care of the skin when things are actually taking turn for the worse, and you can actually take matters into your own hands, improve things. And last but not least, when is it time to actually understand that you've gotten as far as you can, and you need to consult a specialist, namely a board-certified dermatologist. All in all, interesting article. I don't think there's much new in those trends. I think we've heard them all over the past few years. These are all means of actually packaging narratives and slogans and other language games that are designed to make you like the product and think that you should actually buy the product and that it's good for you. Again, you need to be discerning about these things. You need to understand the skincare industry is a multi-billion, probably multi-trillion-dollar industry worldwide. It is very, very crafty. It is very well-versed in promotion, marketing, and sales, and that's how it's making its money. And the ultimate goal of the skincare industry, for the most part, is to make money. It's a for-profit industry, nothing wrong with that, but you have to take care of you. You have to understand the needs of your own skin, and you have to shop for products accordingly, making sure that they actually address specific needs of your skin and that you're using them judiciously, not on autopilot or just as a habit, making sure that these are the right fit for you and that you're not wasting time, money, or even worse, getting into the area of side effects that many of these products can actually induce on your skin. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Also, don't forget to share and like this video. Thanks for watching, and God bless.